this, I suppose, well, actually, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, I got that out of the way. Now, moving on to something which is connected, and it's, of course, Ray Fisher. And Ray Fisher, as I said before, has been very vocal. But to be honest, I love looking at his Twitter because he's kind of always saying something about someone. And, of course, it was revealed that Walter Hamada's contract has been extended over at DC Films. So he's going to be there until... I can't remember now. Is it 2025 or something? It's a couple more years he's got. And, of course, Walter Hamada, I've spoken about him on the show before. He's someone that... he's an interesting guy. You know, he came from being the producer on the James Wan films, The Conjuring, those sorts of films. He's now the overseer at DC Films. He's someone that was kind of brought in as a stopgap, really. He was not really meant to be there for that long. But he seems to be quite good in the role. People seem to like him over at Warner Brothers. And now he's been had this contract extension. This comes after a rather, well, I wouldn't say controversial, but headline-grabbing interview he did with the New York Times, where he revealed that there were going to be 4 movies a year in the four DC Comics movies a year. 2 of them will be coming to streaming services. He also went on about there being 2 Batman. And there's that whole Michael Keaton thing, and that was actually not true. Michael Keaton is not replacing Ben Affleck as Batman in the DCEU. So a lot of stuff came out of that article. And basically Ray Fisher took to Twitter to talk about the fact that Warner Brothers has extended Walter Hamada as president of DC Films. So, it's quite a bit. Actually, I just want to go on to the Deadline article just to make sure that I get my information right for you guys. I just wanted to know when his contract expires. So 2023. So, he's got, quite a few years now that he's going to be involved in the DC movies, which some people might like, other people might not. But here we go. Here is what Ray Fisher had to say on the matter. It's weird how these reactionary announcements from Warner Brothers Pictures always forget to mention that Walter Hamada was working directly with Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich on Shazam during Justice League reshoots. More soon. Accountability more than entertainment, or is more than entertainment. So again, he's calls it a reactionary announcement, which is interesting. He said this before, that he called Walter Hamada the most dangerous kind of enabler in a previous tweet. He's not a fan of Walter Hamada's. He thinks he's guilty. He does not like the fact that he's being given this extra, this extension in his contract. He seems to think he holds him accountable, which, to be honest, it could, he has a point. He could be, if he was really there at the time. I'm not quite sure. He was working on Shazam. I know that he was on Shazam, and was that during the Justice League reshoots? Maybe. I mean, Ray Fisher should know his stuff because he was there, but it's not good. Jeff Johns is no longer part of the DC Films thing. He's not. There are reports now that he was one of the reasons why Wonder Woman 1984 was a bit of a mess, and the Snyders, Deborah Snyder and Zack Snyder, had to come in and help Patty Jenkins kind of fix that film as much as they could. So, his fingerprints have been in a lot of things, and I think it's more him, the problem, than Walter Hamada. But it seems as though Ray Fisher really is not a fan of Hamada's, and has made it very clear in his tweets. And I just wanted to talk a bit about it. Now, I have kind of pitted this, I think, on the in the thumbnail as Ray Fisher versus Walter Hamada. Walter Hamada's not said anything about Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher, it's all coming from him. I know there are people out there that are not fans of his, but as far as I'm concerned, he's someone that is speaking out, that is constantly speaking out, and he just wants to make sure justice is done, and which is good. It's like, there are people in power, positions of power, that never ever, are held accountable for their actions. I've just, for instance, finished watching a great TV show, The Morning Show, which is all about that. It's all about holding people in positions of power accountable. And I do think there is an element of that that's needed at Warner Brothers. And Ray Fisher is someone that is willing to do that is willing to put his career on the line. And he really is putting his career on the line because of this. I mean, people might not want to work with him anymore because of all this. The interesting thing in this tweet is that he says more soon. So Ray Fisher is he's drip feeding us a bit this stuff, but his career's on the line. He is someone that is very, 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 very passionate about this. He had that whole article in Forbes, I believe it was, and actually it kind of got retracted, I think, a bit after that, because there are allegations made in the article that probably weren't properly backed up legally. But a lot of these people are protected legally, and they really shouldn't be. And all I'm saying is that I stand with Ray Fisher on this. I think he's very, very brave for doing this. People that say he isn't are just stupid, because the guy is an actor and he's making this he's being very vocal about this, and this really will damage his career if they don't sort things out at Warner Brothers, if things don't change. So fingers crossed things will change. Fingers crossed people will listen to Ray Fisher. Fingers crossed something will happen. He's trying to get the hashtag Walter New trending. So, let's just wait and see what happens. Walter Hamada's contract has been extended, so Warner Brothers seem to be very much on Walter Hamada's side. We then had those rumors that they're recasting Cyborg. So it's an interesting time. It's interesting, but also I'm quite worried about it, because I'm actually quite worried about Ray Fisher's career. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to some Ant-Man 3 news. Apparently, according to Grace Randolph,